Hi, my name is Sam Metzman Mogadam, and in this week's Module 4 work, a couple things I found interesting was in the Dr. Doug Paxton podcast, and they talk about some of the key traits that a leadership should possess and some essential traits that they should not. So they talk about how ego is something that a lot of leaders need to remove from their equation because it's more of a collaborative effort. And they say a lot of the things they should incorporate is courage and listening, and how they need to have a sense of humility when it comes to their work. And I completely agree with that because I think if the leader has an ego, he's going to put himself above the standard or below the standard possibly, because I think like he's going to say, "Oh, everything I'm doing is right. Everything I'm doing is perfect." But in the end, there's not enough like self criticism, self leadership that's being taken place there. And that kind of thinking is contagious, and it definitely can rub off on your peers, on who you're trying to, bring together. And I thought that was super interesting. And they also, of course, like bringing on like the self leadership, they also like to be able to look at yourself, to tune yourself to be more creative and innovative is an essential part of being a tremendous leader, because if you don't have that interior leadership, the poise to make good decisions and to make a difference, then how are you going to portray that to others? So that was really, I feel like in order to be a leader, you're going to have to like look at yourself in the mirror twice before telling other people to do that. So I kind of agree, everyone has like to go through that process. Like you're not going to wake up one day and be a leader. It's going to be one of those like it's going to be a journey, but once you get past that journey, it's going to 100% be worth it for you and the people around you. And the next thing, the good project value sorts. So a couple of so think of an activity, yeah. So some of the terms that are important to me while involved in this work. So I'm like a student right now. So I think so I listed the first thing that's very important for me is self-examination, self-criticism, and self-understanding. If I don't know what my weaknesses are in my academics or in my study schedule, then how am I expected to improve on it? That was the first thing I thought of. You have to know what you're bad at so you can work towards it. And then the second thing I found very interesting was personal growth and learning. Obviously, college, a lot of it's, success technically is measured on grades, but I think is also, of course, college is about growing as a person as well as a student and learning at the same time. So that's definitely been one of my goals as a college student thus far. Third thing, of course, honest and integrity. If you're cheating the class, you're just cheating yourself in the end. And not only can you get punished for that, it's just not worth it. You're just like, we're paying a lot of money to be at this school. We worked very hard to be at Virginia Tech. It's just not worth the cheat and risk your integrity while at it. The last one is openness, being receptive to new ideas. I think it's like, especially like in terms of like, let's say a math class, like maybe you're used to doing it one way, but there's always maybe another way to attack the solution. You always have to be open to that for sure. And the next thing is they say sort the card in terms of relative importance to you as a person. I always so I think independence is huge. Obviously, you don't want to rely on any one person or any group of people. You have to be able to handle a situation on your own. Hard work and commitment, that's going to factor into your hobbies or especially your work. And and then courage, risk taking. There's a reason there's the people at the top, people at the bottom. Like, I think it's those people who like make the calculated, like, risk like that. I think it's like not like just a leap of faith, but they make that decision that puts them over the top. So those are the things I value. So how I perceive to be a peer or colleague, I think understanding, helping, serving others. I think that's like huge. I think like you want to contribute to other people's success, teaching, mentoring. I think that's I think I want the people around me to want to make the other people better. I think that's 100% something I look for in a peer or colleague. I think some commitments as a Virginia Tech student is, of course, I want to be a great student. Some of my hobbies are I play basketball a lot. I'm a definite big I love sports, and I try to keep stay in good shape. I think that's absolutely like those. I think honestly, school and like basketball are my priorities, and staying like basketball with staying healthy. I think if you have a healthy mind, healthy body, I think those are the key things. Like you can't expect to have academic success if you don't have health, if you're not successful in health. And I think that those are definitely my priorities. Where can I spend more time? Probably in my studies. In all honesty, I'm a second semester senior. I think that's starting to weigh in on me a little bit. Maybe senioritis, but definitely I could spend more time there. Um, I think from the Parker Palmer Shadow Lives of Leaders essay, the thing that resonated with me most was if we as a leader are to cast less shadow and more light, we need to ride certain monsters all the way down. I think it's one of those. I think when he says that means it's like it. I think it's just like if we're not gonna put a spotlight on it, you better get the job done. That's just kind of how I see it, and the yeah, that's kind of and they talk about how like especially parents if they're insecure with themselves, they could be insecure with their children. I don't think that's a I don't think that's the way to go by any means. I think it's like we all should be building ones up. And last but not least, do you agree with Malcolm? Yeah, the revolution will not be tweeted. I disagree. I think if we want to get more a part of the movement, I think to get more people, I think 100%. I think the revolution should be tweeted. Like that's how you find more people that share the same, uh, concerns that you do, and that's how you get more people to protest. I understand that a grassroots movement is obviously effective too, just by word of mouth. But I think if you want to just make it big, I think it never hurts to put it on social media, and I think for the most part, all it can do is help. Thank you guys so much. Really hope you, enjoyed what I had to say.